Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Lecy Goranson. Hello, Lecy.
Hey, guys. Good to see you again.
Everyone loves Lecy. Let's recap real quick. Perhaps you know Lecy from 1988's Roseanne. Right? Then Lecy goes, I still got to grow up and be a regular person. I'm going to quit the show, probably the biggest show on TV, go to college, take an acting class. The acting class says, actually, we have to fail you. And Lecy said, joke's on you. I'm already an actress, and went back to Roseanne.
The Conners.
No, back to Roseanne, the show. This is like Kendall with pronouns. She's very proud of herself.
Too soon.
Yes. I jumped on it. I went too far.
She was thirsty. Goes back to Roseanne. Then, you have what? Boys Don't Cry. She dies in the car. Her mom in real life didn't really react too big to it. That's kind of upsetting to Lecy, right? And then, of course, now we have the Conners. And it's good to see you.
Yeah, and much, much more.
And much, much more. The list, there is so much we have to catch up on. First of all,
isn't it nice to just lean back while someone just tells your illustrious career story?
We think you're fantastic. Kendall, would you say you're literally in love or just you love Lecy?
Well, I don't, this.
See, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. You get tongue tied.
We'll talk later.
Thank you. That's private, Keith, please.
If you go to keithandthegirl.com/Lecy Goranson, you see the other times she's been on. The titles of the shows being This Is 40, D's Nuts, and Crazy Train. I know D's Nuts, if you remember, it was the 15-year-old boy from Iowa. He entered the 2016 presidential race under D's Nuts. And he's too young, of course, to make it, but they still have to count up the votes because it was easily over 1%. Look at that. Good for him.
This is why people who play video games should be running the world.
Well, also at the same time, Jeb Bush was running, and they were, they photoshopped those ads that they send in the mail. He had a black hand for whatever reason. Jeb Bush. Whenever this happens, do you think it's somebody on the inside on his own team deliberately fucking with him? Like, did somebody else put that jacket on Melania Trump that says, I don't really care, do you? Going to a hurricane site. Are these inside people trying to do what's right for America?
Keith is operating like it's always somebody's last day at work. When you see something wonky on someone, it's like, was it somebody's last day at work and they just decided that Melania is going to wear this jacket, or so-and-so is going to say this thing, or the factory is going to put an extra button on something. That's because that has been Keith's last day so many times. There was a last day where he was a waiter and he took everybody's order in the restaurant and then left.
That's good. Well, I mean, I don't think it's fair to group these two individuals. Okay. The black hand, he very well could have been tie-dyeing that day.
Look at the color black you see on those tie-dye shirts a lot.
Yeah.
And he did his whole hand in it.
Maybe
I don't know how it works.
Sport jacket got in some bleach and he needed to do a little hand dyeing.
It's just weird they never explain themselves. Like, why does it take us to?
Well, because they don't need to. They don't need to. It's art. They're artists.
Chemda, you're on the final season of The Conners.
I'm in season 5 right now.
What's going on in your world?
Well, I thought I got up to the one episode where actually your daughter enters kindergarten. It's her first school day, and turns out she knows all the answers. And the teacher is asking you to get her to put her hand down, to get her to be quiet, to get her to give people another more of a vocal chance, more of a chance at school. And your character and the Darlene character, your sister, argue about should a child speak up and be a little rebellious, or should they follow the rules like you did in school when back in your teenage days, you got all A's and you didn't get in trouble. So you got to do everything. I thought this was so interesting I actually want to get your real person take on it, because there is something to following the rules just enough so that you don't get bothered, so that you just keep going. And then there's something about like, no, these rules are stupid. If I recognize it, I argue against it. But we're talking about a kindergartner. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think that it's interesting because I think they both had valid points. You know what I mean? And particularly in academia, there's not much room for rebelling. I mean, Keith already told you that I got kicked out of college after I failed acting. So, but yeah, I mean, I know in terms of working through the system, you know, one thing that I found in my workplace is that some people aren't willing to speak up because they want to be rewarded. They want to be, you know, reap the benefits of being a good girl or boy. And I think what's really frustrating is that because of that, not a lot gets done. There's not a lot of communication that happens in life. And so, you know, I think just by kind of putting out those two kind of polarized views, it opens a lot for discussion in general. I mean, not just for kindergartners, but I think also for young women. If she's starting in the world and she's being instructed to shut up already, then, you know, that's kind of what happens culturally for women. So, yeah, I mean,
I think it's tough because either way, what you're describing is manipulating the system and which way you want to go internally. Like, do I want to manipulate the system by being a good girl, or do I want to manipulate the system by being a bad girl in a way, right? Like, do I want to use your rules and move forward in my life and live a quiet, don't call me after 5 type of life? Or do I want to shout during school hours and have to, you know, stay after and explain myself and make that the focus of my life, basically, to change this? That's a lot to ask either way, right? So I think it's a choice.
What about just conflict? I mean, I think a lot of us are, you know, no one loves conflict. I mean, no one, you know, unless you're like, I guess like Lenny Bruce or something like that. But for the most part, a lot of us don't want conflict. So you're taking a risk. How is that person going to react if you have something to say that they don't like? I mean, this is a huge issue in our country right now. Look at Florida and don't say gay. I mean, you can't even talk about homosexuality in Florida in the schools. That's insane.
I don't even, how do you even reach that it's like, and now no more saying gay. And maybe it is like you're saying, if we keep not saying something along the way, you know, it is pretty exhausting. And I see why people are like, and I'm just gonna have a boozy brunch and go to sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh,
and kiss ass in the morning.
Yeah.
This is some fucking TV show, The Conners. Holy shit! Wow. Your character is sober. Are you sober in real life?
No.
Okay. Is it? Did you feel any way being told your character is sober?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say that, you know, as in life, it was fun playing kind of out of control Becky. I mean, I think just to play that is interesting, and it was kind of fun. And, you know, I mean, Lecy didn't actually get a hangover, so that was a big difference. Did
you think about method acting? Did you think about getting drunk or taking a pill or something?
No, I didn't. I've actually been drunk before, so.
Right. What is the secret? They say the secret is act like you're not drunk. Is there what's your secret to playing drunk?
My secret is to actually try to pull it together. You know, I think a lot of the effort when you're drunk is trying to get it together rather than going, rah. I mean, rah is part of it, but I think there's also just like, okay, I got to stand up. Am I standing right? Am I doing this right? You know what I mean? And it's a little looser, but it's more.
It looks like the end of Mortal Kombat right before you could do the finish him move when the character's like, no, I'm totally just standing still. And you're like, I think I could do a finish move on you right now.
It's like that.
It's exactly like that. Yes.
But I think the whole process of her becoming sober was really, really powerful. I mean, I think that was some of the most powerful stuff on the show when she goes to rehab, when, she has that kind of like, I don't know if you guys saw that. There's like a scene with Becky and Dan, John Goodman, and it's really, really powerful because they kind of start getting at the meat of what's underneath driving some of her self-destructive behavior. And it's painful for her, and it's really powerful. And I thought it was so cool.
It's cool also that it came from the quote unquote perfect child as well. The one that was getting the good grades, the one that was saying like, just get home on time so I don't have to hear it from mom. And that's the one that went into this space. I thought that was cool.
Has Roseanne ever reached out to you personally? Like, Lecy, goddamn it, you're going to cave to these woke fucks. I'm telling you, my pronouns are kissing my ass. But is she upset at anybody as if they sold out, or does she get it? Or do you not know?
I have not spoken to her. I think naturally there are a lot of emotions around her exit in a very, very complicated way. I would say in some ways that when we went back for the reboot, it was kind of the best of times. I think back in the day, there was just, I think, sudden fame and money and everything just kind of made for, it was just more crazy, right, in the 80s and 90s. And this was actually, I think we were all really appreciative to be together. So when this all went down, it was really painful for everybody. But I think, understandably, she's upset. But there is the argument that, it's not just the cast that's the show. It's like 200 people out of a job. And I think, for Sarah and for Tom Warner and for, the EPs, like it was important to kind of get the ship back sailing because there's hundreds of people that were affected by the cancellation of the reboot.
To stay off social media? I asked, like, I have to picture all these opinions coming in, and it's so easy. They didn't like Roseanne's political opinion, so they fired. Well, like Lecy just said, there's nothing easy about it. And if these these networks are just in it for the money, okay, then. But so they had to sit there and think, we can't call Roseanne anymore.
Well, look, I mean, if you're talking about the money, our show was the biggest hit. Again, I mean, it wasn't just a disappointment because of our personal relations. It was a monetary disappointment. I mean, when we went to the upfronts for ABC the year after the reboot, we were like, I mean, Roseanne opened the whole thing, and that's for the advertisers because we were raking in, 15 million viewers, which is like absolutely unheard of now.
Yeah,
so,
not anymore. Wow.
We had this kind of spike in success. And that was like, that decision for ABC. I mean, that was a big decision for them. And, I think it was the right decision. I wished that there was more processing, more talking. I wish we had come together and we could have had a conversation about it. Because I think that's healthier for us as a society, but that didn't happen. And that's not my job, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. And I noticed in movies and TVs, there is that opportunity to have the conversation, right? But in real life, you're waiting for somebody to just say, I'm mad at you. It's more like they're just not going to respond to you anymore. You're just kind of going to go in a different direction. There's not always the let's sit and talk about it, which I thought came with adulthood based on TV and movies. That was a little bit of a disappointment in real life.
Well, and just to kind of have a sense of whether someone's willing to have a conversation or, you know what I mean? To have a platform.
But what if somebody can't have a conversation because they're not ready. They're not open to it. They can't hear it. They're not going to listen anyway. And it's just what I realized is not everyone wants to have the kinds of conversations that I want to have. Some people want to stay surface or go deep only on some issues. They want to stick to sports. They don't want to talk about what my philosophy and what my thoughts are about, my feelings on the next step in my career. Not really.
My problem with the conversations is they don't do it the way I did it in the shower. They don't follow a single fucking thing in this script.
And you thought you came up with all of the scenarios, right? You're going, if they say this, if they say that, doesn't happen.
I got. It gets to where I practice. They're going to kick me in the balls, and I flip them over my body. These conversations.
But what if it's the same thing on the other side, Keith?
I wish. Oh my God, my head would explode. I'm sorry.
What if they're in the shower saying, "Oh my God, I know Keith is going to say this and open up to this great idea."
Right. Then we'd have world peace.
Right.
We'd have people driving on the same side of the road.
But what if no? What if you said no? I'm a real autonomous person.
What if what she's saying, if I may, what if they were prepared?
I already changed
for all
the channel.
Of your retorts?
This isn't making me think too much. I'm listening to another podcast right now. So sounds like a trick.
Again, we'll talk later, Hunga.
Okay, thank you.
Lecy Goranson, is Jesus Christ the one true God? All right, moving on.
What? No.
No?
I thought he was a god. I didn't know he was a god. I thought he was a person.
Well, now you're getting the emails. They're gonna sign you up on Instagram just to talk to you.
Was he ever a god?
He is God. He's still God. He's all man and all God. I don't know what's confusing, Lecy. He's 100% man, okay? And 100% God. Where's the confusion? He's Jesus Christ God.
Superstar.
He's Father God.
But what about the Mary and
Holy
Joseph
Spirit
side?
God. Those are just dudes.
So actually, that's his Jewish side, so we don't like to talk about it. It confuses the cousins.
Well, yeah, they're two, right. The guy's 50% human. The mom's 50% human. So Jesus is 100% human. And
I thought he was 100% surfer based on the images of him.
No, there's a lot of 100%. Well, he's God. So there's a lot of 100%.
He did walk on water, but that might have been his ghost side. It's a little easier to float.
No, that was surfing. I think we misinterpreted it. Look at the pictures of him. He's white. He has like wavy brown, kind of mousy brown hair. I mean,
Never
right?
wears shoes. Yeah. He did have like an ocean vibe of his hair, right? The way they found
all his shit, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I don't know what that stands for, but that makes sense to me. In this new season, Sean Astin is your boyfriend. You're dating Rudy. Does it work out? Lecy Goranson.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh,
totally. Everyone's loving Sean. He's the best.
All right. Do you tell him, do you have to not geek out like a Goonies or something like this? Do you tell him how much you liked him as a kid?
We all geek out. I told him that my friends geeked out because they used to have posters of him on their walls.
Oh, God.
So I showed the picture of the poster on my friend's walls. And he was like, don't do that. Don't do that. And I'm like, and then I see Jay Ferguson, saying, man, I just run into that, man. Sean, I cry Rudy, I cry every time. And he's like, okay, you cry at Rudy. He's like, no. My emotions are so in this incredible place. And Sean's like, yeah, I've never heard that before, but we're all geeking out. John Goodman was like, can we keep him? I was like, I'm down, but I don't call the shots. But yeah, he's great.
Let's see here. I see an old note here. You left Hollywood because of the constant paparazzi harassment at one time. Do you find it the worst, the same, or is it now on social media and you don't go on it?
Oh, it's barely paparazzi.
Okay.
Right? Because everyone's taking pictures of themselves now.
Right.
It's not like they don't even care about us anymore.
I hope some movie changes the facts. It's like, and that's how we turned it around on them. We took the pictures.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're out of work. Damn it.
Now we're all famous, suckers.
When you were on the
it is a different fame, isn't it? Like you do have the highest ratings. Back in the 80s, it feels like there were a handful of famous people that everyone knew. And I don't know if it's the fact that I'm 47 or if this is how the world is. It feels like now there's pockets of famous people. Am I just out of the loop? Or, because it's Instagram famous, it's TikTok famous, and then it's TV famous, it's movie famous. And some of the people who are TikTok and Instagram famous and influencer type famous, they actually have more followers and more of more fame in a way than these other people. I don't know if you know who Mr. Beast is on YouTube. This guy,
he gives away millions of dollars, it seems, and he keeps getting in trouble for doing too good. Right?
Wait, is that the guy that hides the money?
He does a lot of really silly things. He started when he was so young. He started as a teenager. So it was him and his friends, and he would do things like after they accumulated a decent amount of money. Today we're taking over this car salesman place, a car dealership, and everybody who comes in gets a free car. So I think what Keith is talking about is what he had to learn afterwards is now you're making people pay the taxes on it. So he had to take that into consideration. He had to get a tax person. There's things that you think about. If I won the lotto, I would just give out my money. He recognized the burden that it is for other people. Now he's incorporating that into his, for example, we're going to go into this supermarket and we're going to give away all the food. The supermarket was like, you can't do that because that will ruin the neighborhood. Because we won't have food in stock for the people who don't come while you're here. Just shit like that, if that's what you're talking about. Anyway, my point is.
Well, by the way, I wasn't sure what I was talking about. He always seems to be trending, but sometimes for wrong reasons. But I never really understand why. And I saw this today. Mr. Beast reportedly bought a whole neighborhood for his staff to live in. That sounds good, but I don't want my landlord to be my boss. It does seem like he always misses something.
But who's that rich in high school?
His channel grew so much that he started another channel just for his philanthropy, where all the money that for every video he posts up there, it's very worth taking a look.
Wait, is it him? So you know what he looks like?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know what he looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's a very, very young kid. He might be 30 at this point.
Mr. Beast. Okay.
Yeah, he started restaurants now, fast food restaurants. He opened dozens. He keeps growing. Like now, if you drive through Manhattan, you'll see something called D's Nuts. I don't know if it's a nut store. It's a bar that he started. Like he's so fucking rich.
D's Nuts is so clever.
It's because, he started as a teenager. So like his response to his money is still very childlike, and his videos are great. Anyway.
Wow. So that's who I'm going to blame for all the traffic.
Right.
But he see how you don't know who he is, but I don't know who, like, if Keith brings up, somebody who's in a blockbuster movie right now, I won't know who that person is, because we have the opportunity to follow and be fans of not just the 5 to 10 people that are the most famous, that they could be famous like to us.
It is crazy. Our lifetime, we had Entertainment Tonight. That was it. Then you had Extra, and those were the two. And you had the interviews that they gave you. In our lifetime, I was in my own apartment at the time.
Yeah, but
it's a joke if we sat down.
We've always had Us magazine.
So, well, sure. Thank goodness, right? That doesn't. You don't get. Is that a sarcastic heart you're making?
I read that as often as I can. I love that.
Oh, that's funny. We used to know the guy who worked with the Paparazzi for that. So you didn't get upset at those magazines for following people, taking pictures while they're eating, things like that.
Well, now it seems like
because you eat the same as I do. I seen it. You eat the way I eat. Better Hollywood.
Keith, he's just like us.
No sleeves.
No, don't you think I don't think it's paparazzi. I mean, it looks like they're actually hiring someone to show like them happy at the grocery store. I mean, they're posing like this. You can't see on the radio, but like happily and like almost like a mannequin.
Right.
Whatever their groceries. Like, do you think they're really just someone's following them around?
When I see ones, I don't know if they still do that or if it was them, but you catch somebody in a yawn. I'm like, like Ben Affleck. I don't think he did that to himself. He got caught slamming a door and rolling his eyes at J-Lo.
Well, that's what you get for marrying J-Lo.
You've told him for years. Now he's listening. How's dating going there personally? Have you hit on Sean? Is Sean married?
Sean has been married since he was in his early 20s.
All right. Well, we got to move on, Lecy. Okay.
Okay.
Let it go. Okay. Are we looking at anybody else?
Are we looking at anybody else?
Yeah.
No. I feel very extremely happy being a single woman with no children.
Yeah. How fun is that to see on Mother's Day, right? And you're like, yeah, fuck yeah. All these kids. Yeah. Goodbye.
Yeah, dude. Because my whole thing is I can use extra paper towels.
Yeah.
Because I did not procreate.
Yeah.
And it's the best. I'm like, another paper towel. Yeah. Well, you had 3 kids. Think about how much they're going to use paper towels their whole lives. So I'm just going to get another roll just for fun.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, by they're going to use them their whole lives, she means, Mom, you're going to clean up after them your whole lives, but you'll still be using, 4 people's worth. Do you laugh when you see how they have those rips, those pre-rips in the paper towel? When you pull it and there's like 4 or 5 and you just skip it, are you just laughing your lips off?
Oh, yeah. It's just one continuous strip to me. Those perforations,
they get in the way.
Suckers. Those are for suckers with children. And you can quote me on that.
And Roseanne's like, I don't get where the line is.
Uh-oh. Disney's going to be like all the paper towel people who want for the show. They're like, oh my God.
What about the homeless? And they could use your paper towels that you're wasting. Yeah, this is where you get in trouble. Yesterday, we had a new guest on, Bobby Condon. And I love that episode a lot. But you brought up him that you thought his condition, let's say, or when he talked about himself dating, he had a Madonna whore complex. I'm not sure what that is, and it feels too late to ask. Is it like you respect your girlfriend's supposed to be respectful like your mom, but deep down you'd rather somebody fun and whore-like?
Just the separation of those two. If I'm sleeping with you, you're a whore because you are a person who gets fucked, right? Okay. And if I'm with you like a partner, you're Madonna, you're innocent. I don't even want to think about you and my dick in the same thought because that taints who you are and how I look at you. I need to separate it, right. It's not that I need to separate it. It's that it's separated in my mind and I don't know how to switch it. And I think a lot of guys our age and up have that and are left with it, and even like we as women, like I have to like remind myself to not have that separation, to not think that way, And
like I've come
a very long way from that, a very long way. But
here's the thing. It's like this for dudes. Let me break it down for you.
Yes.
You have a mom. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
No,
guys.
She's dead, but thanks.
Well, you
had one.
And mine's dead too. So
no, it's just bragging.
So you had one, and
I'm just trying to relate. That's
like your number one partner, right? That's like the ideal of a woman to a guy, and in some kind of primordial way, right? That's what a woman to be. And so for a dude, once he becomes sexual, he doesn't know how to deal with that. So you have to divide it. Because what do I want to have sex with my mom? No, I want there to be 2 separate things. I want there to be mother, which is something that reminds me of my mother and is nurturing. And then I want the sex part, which is someone that I don't have to respect or don't have to think about my mother and don't have to engage in some kind of I don't have to listen to her do what she does. And I think that really is, and I think women have a similar thing with their dads sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, but it's not the same. It's not as powerful because mothers are really fucking powerful. And they're the ones, if you don't have a mom, the odds are it's going to be hard for you. I mean, everyone has one, right?
Biologically.
Biologically.
I mean, that's changing too, right? I don't know how much a robot's doing, but yes, there is a womb usually, and that is tied to that person. But yeah, I get it. You know, the way we grew up, it's like you had to keep your numbers low, quote unquote, or you're just gross. There is a certain number of partners a woman could have had before, like she's used up and she is out of the running for you as a person of
a jealous person.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically, because I just saw a thing like this guy is like, you know, if it's too many numbers, if your numbers are too high, like that's it. And it's very weird. I find it very weird. And I used to find it normal because, you know, I was told to be a virgin until I was married. I find it very weird that grown adults want a novice in something that they have to connect with on such an adult level, that you want someone who doesn't have experience, like gives me the heebie-jeebies about you. Like,
do you think
why?
it's so nobody judges them?
It's because they're skeeved out about sex, I think, in general. I don't know how they can be a partner to you in sex if they're thinking of sex only as this like nasty, that could temporarily be fun, but I guaranteed as soon as it's over, you're getting looked at funny. He needs a shower. He's got to get out of there quick. Like he's got bugs crawling on him. Like there's that aspect of it.
Oh my, wait, so who are these people? Are these the women? I mean, I'm confused.
The men who, like, I used to see this in my father, right? My mother was, let's call her a saint. She tried to be a good girl. She was a virgin, you know, when she got married, when she was 18. She doesn't swear. She doesn't, you know, she does all the like, I'm a proper, you know, 50s female here. And my father provided financially.
When my dad put saint on the tombstone, I guess that's real, right?
Sure. Yes, because that's how he saw her. So there's like this, you know, the nice girl, right? But he would light up at the women who would like smoke and philosophize with him and be like, Danny, you know, you're being a little shit now. They put out their cigarette and he's like, yeah. And they light up another one together. And he likes the gritty, like pushing him on his thoughts, like, you know, you're an idiot, like, and how about this? And have you thought of this? But if my mother does that, he gets turned off. It was very, very strange. Yeah. Yeah. He'd be like, oh, he doesn't want to hear her talking in that very masculine mannerism. And he would call me butchy because I'm on that spectrum on the aggressive side. So,
yeah, but I have to say that your portrayal of those broads was pretty good.
Thank you very much. That's me now. This is, let me tell you something. When you got thoughts,
yeah,
you gotta have a cigarette with your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? You gotta like get in there.
Are we still doing, Lecy? Are we still doing a fantasy football? It sounded like you joined, if I remember this correctly. Kicked all the boys' asses. Said I'm back for more. Came in super last place. What's been going on the years after?
You know, my job is so occupying. It's, you know, when I'm not at work, I'm studying my lines, which change every day. So I feel like then I have the weekend, but I just don't have time for fantasy football. And it's a commitment. I mean, it's not like fantasy baseball, but
shots fired, baseball.
Whoa, you don't like telling it like it is. That's why I love Lecy. Hollywood didn't change you.
Oh, hell no. Well, I did go to the Bears game, though, on Christmas Eve this past year, and it was like 11 below.
Oh, Jesus.
It was like 11 below zero. And I went to that game.
They're wearing winter coats down there. They're going from first base to second base all bundled because, you know, who gives a shit? It's baseball.
Oh, no, it was the Bears, the football.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't fucking know.
Yes. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I thought that was football. And I'm like, I'll just stay quiet because it's sports
Oh,
time.
no.
The Bears.
So, yeah,
Right?
the Bears. So my dad and my brother, I was like, so are we still going to the game? And they were like, oh, hell no, Lecy. They were like, hell no. It's 11 below.
Right.
And my girlfriends were like, come on. And I was like, oh my God, you crazy Chicago bitches. Come on, Lecy, come on. So there I went. And boy, if my toes almost were lost that day. It was so cold.
That's not real weather. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
That's crazy. They had to have a de-icer come out halfway through. What was the score? Do you know?
I don't remember, but we lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing was worth it.
Yeah. Well, I knew we were going to lose. I mean,
have you heard this, by the way, as a baseball announcer? Oakland Athletics broadcaster Glen Kuiper. Have you known him as a broadcaster before this news?
Me?
Yeah. Do you know of him?
Certainly not.
No,
me.
I don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's a great name, Kuiper.
Yeah. This is him. He has his NBA and NBC Sports microphone. He has somebody sitting next to him. That person's also, they're both wearing NBC Sports shirts as well. And he's talking with him, his buddy, and he's saying, we just had a great time. We visited the Negro League.
We had a phenomenal day today. Negro League Museum and Arthur Bryant's.
Oh, that's not you're done. Oops.
What?
We had a phenomenal day today. Negro League Museum and Arthur Bryant's barbecue.
Okay.
Holy shit.
When was that?
I think within the week. And
oh my God.
His friend, I don't know if his friend is listening. Yeah, you will be. I don't know if his friend is listening next to him, but his friend doesn't doesn't change his expression. He's like, yeah, we had a good time.
His friend has had a heart attack.
Yeah. What's that? What could have happened? What could have happened?
A slip, like we had the person.
Yeah, slip, because he uses that word.
Why did someone have a slip on your show?
No, but
No, we've been doing it for 18 years. That's a good point, Lecy. Isn't that interesting?
Maybe this is a stupid point, but somebody's name was spelt like salmon and it's Salmon. You pronounce it. Keith pronounced it all the different ways throughout. At first, he pronounced it correctly, and then a salmon snuck in. And
I could have said like a Spanish slur or something, right?
No, but Negro.
You could have, but
I could. I'd like to think I could have. Thank you.
You're saying
it's reaching. That's no. First of all, you were just there. There's big signs and life lessons. Then you left and you were at the N-word museum. How? No, he says that word. Him and his friend were saying that word the whole time. It honestly came out.
Do you really think that's true?
Me?
No, that he was saying it the whole day.
That's what I think. Or he says in his life easily.
Really?
Yeah.
Jerome is saying,
I want to hear the times you fucked up on set, because apparently it's horrendous. How many racial slurs come out of your? Yeah, how many racial slurs come out when you're doing your lines? By accident, obviously. The cast knows.
Well, I can tell you that
the answer is none.
I had a line that was supposed to be punum.
Okay.
And like a face in Hebrew?
Yeah. And everyone was saying whatever. Now I'm like getting all self-conscious, but I was like practicing at home because I wanted it to be so successful.
Right.
Because I think I was saying punim, and then someone said punim or something. And I just felt like, oh my God, I need to land this. Like I need to know exactly what it is. Same
thing.
And then they cut it's not the same thing, but then they cut the line, and I was like wanting to just, you want to do it well. You want to land everything.
But they didn't put their hands over their mouths, right? And go, like you did when you heard the audio, right? They just said,
no, they did not.
Right. They didn't. So it's a little different. It's a little different. And yes, I don't believe he's like, I don't even say that word. That's the irony.
Jerome is saying, Na'a Hamda, he'd be saying the N-word. Chris Ellis saying, would it have been worse or better if he had literally said the N-word League Museum? Courtney Reed said, yes, he was. I think yes, he was saying that all day long.
Yes.
All right.
Don't even say it. Hopefully he doesn't go to the Jewish museum and he talks about the shoes. He used to kick people and like, oh, don't let him read nothing. He's not reading. He just said it. And there's no reason for him to say it. That's funny too. He's just bragging
it's
about
just
lunch.
so weird that like his whole point was trying to say that they did something good, right?
That they did something fun, that they were praising the town. We went to your local museum. We went to your local barbecue place. Why did I mention it? I'm fired.
Well, yeah, he's mentioning it like it's fun, but I think that Lecy's right. He's mentioning it to say like, hey, our fun is educating ourselves and being better people, right. You know? Like,
oh, good. Then fucking double. Good.
Yeah.
Although I'm a vegetarian, I'm not too crazy they went to a barbecue place either.
That's the part that shocked you. You're like,
no,
you're promoting?
No, it was just another thing.
Right.
Thrown in there.
Are you vegetarian?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. 33 years.
It seems lately vegetarians have been bothering Hemda. I don't, right? Would you say that?
Oh no, am I bothering you?
No, of course not. But like maybe she'll respect you in front of your face. But when it's just me and her, and like let's say she's eating ribs, right? And then she's like, God damn, vegetarians are wrong. And it's like, oh, okay.
I've eaten ribs like lately. Twice in my life, first of all.
Twice lately.
Yes. I was
all of a sudden the guy starts listening. He's in trouble. Anyways.
I like how this is how you decide that you're listening, like it paraphrasing decides. Me where I'm just cringing and want to go under the table. But yes, sure.
Save you time.
You're really helping. Yes. I don't think that I can restrict anymore. I was vegetarian, but I feel like I can't see what's wrong with eating meat except how we treat the meat. Like if we
agree.
Yes, yeah. Like I think how we treat the farmers, how the whole system, but like, you know, I don't like the system of a lot of things, but
I don't like the system either. I feel like I got to say, me neither. Fuck the system.
Me neither.
Hate it. You ask me about the system. I go, fucking hate it. They're like, I didn't even tell you which one. I'm like, I can imagine. You know what I mean? I hate systems. And it goes, I want to talk about a system. I'm like, fuck it.
You're always at the precipice of hating the system. So whether they're specific or not, you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what my TV daughter is going to do in class now. The teacher is going to say, in our next lesson, I hate the system.
So here's what you want to do. You want to check out the Conners, or don't? She's a millionaire. Who gives a fuck? You know? Well, you have regular doors in your house. She has sliding doors. Who gives a shit?
Listen, you're making a choice to not be on social media, right? Like you're on.
But then she verifies you, I think is what it is. Something like that.
I just don't feel like people don't. Why would anyone care about what I post?
I get it. I'm just wondering if you're getting any, like, is there any obligation to post or to keep in touch, to
give back?
Yeah, to do fan stuff via the social media, via these platforms.
A little bit. I mean, they asked me to set up like a fan account, and I just am like, meh, like, what do I do? Like, people are like all taking pictures and videos of themselves. Oh, look at me and like going to this party or whatever. It's like, I'm already stressing out about going to any party. No one needs to know what's going on like with this situation.
You see, the latest thing, you could do reaction videos. The latest thing is you take somebody else's video, steal it, and then it's your face on the bottom corner, and you're like, wow, crazy. The kid talk, you know, and then apparently you make a little extra money also. Yeah.
So I could Oh my God, just like I'm coming on here and you're judging me.
Yeah, you could judge me judging
I could
you.
judge others.
Yeah.
Every day.
Pay it forward, Lecy. Yes.
I learn something from you guys every time.
Thank you. People compare it to The Ring, but just pay it forward. All right. So there's the Conners and social media somewhere, but who cares about that? All right, everybody. Lecy, anything else they should know?
That they should know. I don't know. We're on the picket line right now for striking with the writers, and we're trying to get these people, I hate the system.
I hate the system.
The upper 1 percentile, we're trying to get them to, compensate people for what they're doing and have a sense of value for other people and writers and actors and creatives. And, when I'm there, when I'm picketing with these groups of union members, it feels pretty awesome.
Do you think it's the writers' fault in that they keep saying how much they love their job and they do it for free? Why didn't they think that would haunt them?
Oh, I think that have people said that? I don't know anyone who said that.
They love saying it.
Especially just the love part.
Now
I love my job. No one on my show, not one writer on my show would say, I love my job. Who are you talking to, man?
Do you get texts more from writers because they're just antsy and bored? You got to write some because it's in the blog.
No, because I see them on the picket line.
Okay, and you guys have? Did you picket? Are you a good picketer? And how long do you last?
I last the whole time. Well,
the whole time.
Some of my friends in LA say, "Oh, everyone's so cushy here in New York because it's only for a few hours and it's not every day." And I say, well, we're thinking more than you are. We're smarter than you are. And we need more time to think independently. We don't always march in a group like you LA people.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
By the way, those smug signs. Oh my goodness. There's a difference between signs coast to coast. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly.
And by the way, those signs are still writing. People, you're not making your point. Oh, well. I wish them luck. Lecy, thank you so much. Always great to see you.
You guys too.
Well, bless you.
I have to ask this. How do you memorize so many lines? I don't understand how you, and then it's a new line on another day. I don't understand how you temporarily hold so much information in your brain. I would have to cheat. My character would have to be the character who reads a book in a magazine all the time because that's where my lines would be. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
you heard about the debacle. You heard about Pun and Poonum. Yeah. People are still talking about it to this day.
A great Pun and Poonum debate. No, I literally have to work with someone and I'm not going to lie. It is so very stressful because
I'm sorry. Good.
No, because when you're okay, so you have to have it down pat and they're like speeches and jokes and you just receive them and you go in and there's like literally 100 people waiting for you to land those lines. And you're just like, all you can say is like, man, I did as much as I could. I worked my ass off. Please just be kind to yourself today, Lecy. Everyone might judge you and think you're wasting our time because you can't get this line, but it's like, what are you going to do? It's hard.
Oh and
when
God.
It's so hard that when we have a guest star that comes up, I go up to them right away and I say, look, this is no disrespect.
But don't blow this for me.
Yeah. No, I just say this is really, really hard. And just know that it still is for all of us.
But these are stars, right? As everybody is,
sometimes,
right?
Sometimes it's their first gig.
Oh, wow.
Can
So
you
what's-
imagine coming onto our show as your first gig and having to memorize your lines every day and work with like John Goodman and Laurie Metcalf?
And
Honestly,
Becky
that's
Connor
like-
comes over to you and Becky says, it doesn't get easier. Enjoy. Crouching
Yeah.
to the
And I
left.
say, just don't fuck it up when you're with me.
I think that's like transferring to a different high school in your senior year in another state or country, because these people already know each other. All the groups are set. They have inside jokes. They have a rhythm, and you're like, I memorized lines. I'm so sorry that as soon as you said it's really hard, I'm like, oh, good, you're having a bad time. And I'm like, wait, that's weird to say, but that sounds so difficult. And I feel like that's why people get to know their character, because what would my character said, instead of memorizing it, I would have to think like, oh, my character would just have to tell you to shut up. So there's got to be like, shut up next in the script, right? Is there some of that?
Oh, are you talking about, have you read about the writers and that woman that plays Wednesday Addams?
No, what?
It's funny because a lot of the picketers are having her because she was, I don't know what her name is, the one in the series Wednesday, but she was like, the writing was all wrong and I had to change it all, and she's like, I just couldn't believe what they were writing. And so the writers are like, too bad, I wish or Wednesday would give me some lines, or everyone's like ragging hard on her. But it's like, yeah, sometimes you're like, sometimes I have a plead. I'm like, could we please make the speech a little shorter or easier to say? Or,
Right.
because sometimes you're just like, what am I saying?
I'm so glad, because I would also think that everybody would want more lines so that you can be more prominent.
Oh, really?
People want to be famous. People want to be the lead. They want to be the main character. Wouldn't that require most? I thought actors want more and more lines.
When they're like doing high school theater or whatever, but not when they have new material every day.
Yeah, that's bananas.
None of us. When there's a new line, like we're during okay, it's Thursday or Friday, we're shooting. We're in the middle and we see someone's getting a new line because we're stopping with the writer's writing. And we're like, and we see the people coming over with the new lines.
No.
And everyone's going, oh, please, not me. Please. Because then you have to memorize it right then.
Wow.
Everyone's going, please, not me. Please, not me. Please make it John Goodman. Make it John Goodman.
That's how construction workers feel too. It's like, please give me the sign. Make him dig the hole.
Do you still have any lines from any past jobs that are still memorized? Just like how we just remember lines from a movie. Have any of the lines that you memorized stuck in you?
No.
Okay. That could happen,
No, there's
like
too many.
Song.
Honestly, I feel like when I'm on hiatus that it's weird because I like to read. Like all of a sudden I love to read, because when I'm memorizing lines, I don't want to read anything. I'm just like, oh God, more text. No, but now I'm like, oh, I love to read or whatever, but it's reading, but not having to retain every single word,
Wow.
You mentioned hiatus. Is there going to be a 6th season? Do we know that?
We do.
Okay.
But we don't know when it's going to start because here we are with the writer's strike.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I am writing an episode like I did 2 seasons ago.
Are you allowed to work on it now and not turn it in as a writer?
I think that if I do research, that's okay.
Okay. Like if somebody writes Hamlet Part 2 during this time, they can't come out with it right away, right? They got to be like, I'll see you in a week. I'm working on something.
Yeah. And everyone will be like, oh my God, no one's ever done that before.
Right.
Hamlet Part 2.
Do you feel nervous?
But here's the thing. I'm going to have to, you guys, we're talking now, but when my episode airs, I'm going to come back to you guys.
All right.
I'm going to need you.
Can we sit there and watch it together and judge in real time?
No.
Oh, okay.
Judge.
I thought you wanted to come to judge. You can judge. You can just watch me watch it, judge how I watch it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Somebody has to
because
judge
I'm going to be
something.
I'm going to be the little gal at the bottom now.
Okay.
Reacting, right?
Yep.
Yes.
In the
That's
bottom
right.
square.
You
Get
got
my
it.
bottom square on.
Let me ask you this as a celebrity. I get excited about celebrity breakups and not in a mean way necessarily, but I just happen to see, for example, and this is just an example, it could be anybody. Kevin Costner got a divorce, 18 years. I think I'm trying to figure out why it pleases me. And I think it pleases me because it shows you the same struggles that a regular person does. And while you could fix problems with an island or a jet, eventually it's going to get a little boring. Does it please you or interest you when you see these breakups in an Us magazine, for example? Lecy Goranson.
Not at all.
Who cares, right?
Totally there. No, I mean,
You're
totally
very mature.
their business. No,
Right.
It's just there's so many other things that are maybe base that are interesting to me. That.
What's your favorite section in Us magazine? Us Weekly. What's your favorite section?
Where are they now? Right? You're sick.
I kind of like when I kind of like the Just Like Us, oh, there's, Salma Hayek eating a snow cone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, I mean, it's so banal, the stuff they're doing. And it's like, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to relate to that. Like, is that supposed to feel good that they grocery shop or it should be surprising or should I be looking at their, I just find it mystifying.
I think that's how Keith sees what he sees. He goes, oh, they got a divorce. They're just like me. I got a divorce. And that's his section.
Yeah, I get excited seeing it. Yeah.
Do you feel like, Kevin Costner's ex-wife is available now?
Yeah, you know what? She's probably 30 years younger than him, probably in my age range. So, who knows? Lecy.
Because I'm sure for someone, right? Some people track that. Oh, my crush is back on the market.
Yeah,
Sure.
of course.
I have to assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do exes reach out to you? Do you keep exes as friends?
No.
No. Get out. You're gone for a reason.
No, and no. I mean, I'd say in college, it was kind of like everything went. You know what I mean? So I feel like there was no real stakes.
Right.
So those relationships are kind of like, hey.
Sure. Okay. There we go. I think that's literally everything. I'm going to give you a score now, Lecy.
Okay.
Based on your performance. How do you think you did?
I'm guessing I'm going to go with a 7.
A 7. Lecy?
Yeah.
I can tell you, in all honesty and sincerity, higher than a 7. Congrats.
Yeah. Yes.
Higher. Okay. All right.
Higher than a 7. Don't even have to think
Hamza,
about it.
no. Hamza was thinking maybe.
You guys need to talk later, remember?
For sure, higher than a 7. I was wondering if you can share where you thought you lost points.
Oh, yeah. Where do you think it went a little south? Maybe nervousness, or you just didn't, it was a too personal a question. What do you think happened?
I think definitely lost points not remembering a line of mine.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have too many lines. You couldn't know any. That was weird. That was strange.
It was a little overwhelmed, but if I could just
off-putting.
bust out and just be like, oh my gosh, wait, she does all this and she has this long soliloquy.
Right.
That would be amazing. But
yeah, can't go back now. All
7.
right. Well, you'll know for next time. I still say higher than a 7 though, but I see why it wouldn't be a 10.10. We give extra 10%. It's a long story. All right, here's what you do. KeithAndTheGirl.com. You know that. KeithAndTheGirl.com/VIP. It's every show we've ever done. You can hear past shows. You can hear when Lecy's been on before. Goes all the way back to 2005. All right. Thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.